Greetings, Patrick here. We're back here with another edition of Dollar Theater, the Voters Edition. And strangely enough, this is not going to be the movie that you guys picked, which was First Reformed. Uh, it was no fault of mine or my tech, but the disc itself would play, but there was no sound to it. Really, really weird. Never seen that before. So, but I said, well, I did go with Ethan Hawke. I needed an Ethan Hawke movie, so I was trying to think of what could we talk about, and then I thought about this movie. And while Ethan Hawke is not credited in this, he plays a central character. And the movie we'll be talking about today is 2005's One Last Thing. So, One Last Thing, I got this. I got this a while ago. Probably one of the first movies I saw at the library. Um, I loved it because of the cast. The cast is absolutely stacked. Cynthia Nixon, Sonny Mabrey, Michael Angarano, Ethan Hawke, Johnny Meisner, Brian Stokes Mitchell. I mean, for an independent film, this is about as loaded as you could get. Um, and yes, this movie is 20 years old, but the subject matter, of course, is timeless. It happens all the time. So the story is of a young boy named Dylan, 16 years old, and he's dying of a brain cancer, brain tumors in his head, and so he is young enough to do a make a wish. And he wants, initially, it looked like he wanted to go fishing with his favorite football player, played by Johnny Meisner, Jason O'Malley. And he wants to go fishing with him, but one of his friends, Slapped, actually says, "Hey, you should actually ask for, you should ask to meet Nikki St. Clair." And so Dylan, that's exactly what he does. He surprises everybody, and he changes it up, and he says he wants to meet supermodel Nikki St. Clair. Of course, then we meet her, and she's in a really bad place too. She's a mess. Well, she was very popular, but she is, as her agent has politely says, she goes, this is what self destruction looks like. Uh, her agent Arlene, who's played by very fine fashion, by the way, Gina Gershon. One of her better performances, I found. To tell you the truth, I really liked her a lot in this movie. Um, she tends to get all these slightly over the top roles all the time, and it was really nice to see her play it in a restrained role without that, not going over the top. It was a very good performance by Gina Gershon. Anyway, she's concerned. Not only is Nikki St. Clair her client, but she really does have feelings for her. She really likes her. She wants she's trying to help her out, but Nikki is on the way, and on the way down, and her agent says, it'd be a good thing to go meet this young man. So whereas Dylan wants to spend the weekend with her alone, that's probably not going to happen. And what's really funny is when he announces the he wants to trade. They had brought the football player in, Jason O'Malley, and he's sitting there waiting to go up there and saying how much an honor it would be to go fishing with Dylan, when he says he wants to meet Nikki St. Clair, and he gives the most human thing possible as he's smiling behind him. He's like, I can understand that. He wasn't upset, and he was like, yeah, I like the idea. Um, and while this is happening, as while this is happening, um, Jason and Dylan's mom Karen, well, they find they Jason's attracted to her, and he starts coming by and staying in touch, and when the boys do, when Dylan does meet Nikki, it's really like a 30, like a 20-minute, meet and greet. And it just wasn't very satisfying at all. It was very anticlimactic. And so the three boys, his friends, Slap and Ricky, they decide that what they need to do is they want to go to New York because Nikki gave them her office number. So they decided, let's just go to New York. We got nothing to lose, except for one thing, and that is they're running out of time and they don't have any money. So they decide to go on public access and do an auction. And they have some cool stuff on there, but no one's buying it. And so they're getting a little bit frustrated. And then the phone rings, and lo and behold, someone calls in with a $10,000 offer for a signed autographed 91 Eagles football. I'm sure Kenny's over there saying, "That's right." That's right. That's about what it's worth. $10,000. And it was like, holy cow, And turns out that none other than Jason has bought the football. To help Dylan on his quest. He comes by and he gives not only does he give the boys $10,000, but he also pays for their accommodations. Of course, Karen is like, we can't take your money, and Jason's like, a deal is a deal. I bought the ball, I'll come back for it later. It wasn't a pity thing. He wanted the ball. So he says, I'm coming back for it. So then the three boys, they head up to New York and have a series of adventures or misadventures. And one of the things we notice with Dylan is, and Nikki, is they both have Dylan sees his dad, who has died years before, and that is his dad is actually played by Ethan Hawke. And one of the things that they used to love to do before he passed was they used to go fishing together. And sometimes Dylan will think about that and see his dad on the beach fishing, and then he's gone because it's not really there. And with Nikki, when she became a supermodel, she had gotten a job in Europe, and she flew she went from the United States to Europe and became a supermodel, and she left her old boyfriend behind. And then when she told him that she basically wasn't coming back, well, he self-destructed, and literally self-destructed. He died in a car crash. He got and now she seems to be following in his footprints, and she wakes up, and we see that she's absolutely haunted by what happened, and that's really the trigger to her behavior and her self-destruction tendencies. So Dylan and Dylan, who's dying, through no fault of his own, and then Nikki, who is also dying, but by her own hand. It's a different pathway, but they have to. Nikki, after she realizes, she needs some changes. She really needs some changes. She sees how Dylan is trying to live his life to the fullest, and so she decides that maybe she needs to do the same. And so she, after almost dying in her own bed, she wakes up. By this time, though, even though she met Dylan in New York, it didn't happen. She just said, you don't want to be around me because I'm toxic. I'm radioactive. So unfortunately, he has a medical episode, and they take the cab ride home to back to town, and he's in the hospital, and he really is. It's not a matter of days; it's a matter of hours before his time is up. But then Nikki shows up, and so Dylan knows he has one last burst of energy left, and so he says goodbye to his mother and his doctor, and he goes to Nikki, and they go to their favorite spot, and it's a very tender scene. Um, this movie has some laughs in it. The director of this film, you know, he built it as a comedy a little bit. I saw some, I definitely saw some humor in this movie. And the acting is just spot on. I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit, even though the subject matter is, of course, very near and dear to me, and I totally understand that. You know, in some respects, not all. Not all. I'm not a parent, so you know, seeing Dylan's mom Karen, how she handled it, um, you know, her son's, you know, impending death is it's different from a husband or a brother or sister. It's different, and I can't experience that. I don't know I don't know how I can't relate to that experience, only to mine. But I thought it was played really really well, and the director was Alex Steyermark, and he did a really fine job with this movie. And it was written by Barry Stringfellow, and the cast is just like I said before. Not only is it stacked, but this movie's so well acted. It's a beautiful movie. It's not weepy. It's not sappy. It's not sentimental. It's practical. You know, he's dying. He wants to meet a supermodel, and his dying saves her. He helps save Nikki's life. You get the impression that Nikki, from the time meeting Dylan, that her life is going to change for the better, and it's a positive message. Um, and of course, that, like I said, the cast, for the third time, the cast is I can't really remember. I really can't really remember when I watched this. Have I ever seen for an independent film? I mean, most of the time this is a big studio cast. Um, and this is also from Magnolia Pictures, which I had mentioned before, that this is a very underrated studio. They put out some magnificent films, and I'm glad that I'm able to do this one too, because I do Magnet and Magnolia. I watch a lot of those. We all do here in the film community, but we really don't mention it by name. Well, I am. So hats off to Magnolia Pictures for one last thing. This is a terrific movie. Like I said, it came out in 2005, so I'm not sure if it's out of print or not. I'm sure it probably is, but you could probably go to check on eBay or check on Etsy or Amazon. You should be able to find a copy on DVD. I don't know if this got released on Blu-ray. Probably not. It got released back in 2005, so probably not. You'll probably have to just get the DVD. The extras are really good, including the director's commentary, and HD Net, who also helped produce the film, did a half-hour behind-the-scenes with interviews with the cast and crew of the movie, which you'll find entertaining. And and some deleted scenes as well, I believe. Uh, Outtakes, yeah. So some deleted scenes, some alternative scenes, also included in this film. I really enjoyed this one again, and I'm glad I watched it. And yes, there were some tears involved, as there always is with the subject matter. But that's it. If you've seen one last thing, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. Um, yeah, yeah. This is the kind of movie that you don't get to see talked about too often, but it's a good one and highly recommended. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that like button, um, hitting the subscribe button, hit the like button, notification button. Whenever I drop one of these, you'll know it. And then you come by and say hi. All right, that's it for us. And the next round of Dollar Tree Theater, the Voters Edition, will be coming up as soon as I upload this. Talk to you soon. Peace.